Hi everyone, this video is part of a series for the Graham Elementary and Middle School Coding Club. This is round 2 and we are creating a text adventure game using the Python language. The site we're going to be using to develop is called repl.it, repl.it, and that will let you sign up or log in with a Gmail account, like your school email address. So I already have an account, so I'm going to sign in and click G for Gmail. Once you are logged in, you have an option called My REPLs at the top. And so you can click that, and in the bottom right there's a plus sign. When you hover over it, it turns into a lambda symbol. And when you click that, that lets you pick what programming language you want to use. REPL supports a lot of languages. We want to go to the popular section and choose the top item, Python 3. Okay, and in this window, this will be your program. That's its file name. And this will be your console. This is the part that's the actual REPL, the read, eval, print loop. So this is running Python, and if I type things into it, it's either just evaluating it with Python directly, or it's using it for input to the program. So let's start writing a program. The first thing I want to do in my game is ask the user to type stuff. So they're going to input. If I run a game if I run a program that just says input, you'll notice I have this little warning sign that says, that's not really going to do anything. If I run this, I can either click the run button here or type Command Enter on a Macintosh. If you have a Chromebook or Windows, you can do Control Enter. And it's just going to say built-in function input. So that's a built-in function. I want to pass some, I want to run the function, so I'm going to type in some parentheses after it. And that's how you tell Python to actually run the function. And so that's the program running. It's prompting me to type something. Let's do that again. Okay, so I don't like the fact that I'm just typing out in space. So I'm going to give myself a prompt in single quotes or double quotes, it doesn't matter. Inside the parentheses, I'm going to type in just colon greater than sign. That's just so that tells the input function what to print before the user starts typing. I'm just using colon greater than because it's unique and I'll recognize it and know what it means when I see it. So now, instead of just being out in space, I've got my prompt, and it's not doing anything with that except ending the program. So I'm going to assign what I type to a variable that I'm going to call command. And then if I run this, I won't get that second green line because I'm doing something with it other than just returning it to Python. Okay, so now why don't I print what I received? I'm going to call the print function and pass it a variable called command, and that's just going to be whatever this is. Test. And then I can say in quotes, I got, comma, command. So this is going to pass two things to the print function. And Python thinks something is wrong now. Oh, it's a dot. So I'm going to pass two things to the print function. I'm going to pass I got as a string, and then the command that the user entered. So let's try that again. Test, I got test. I want to do all of this in a loop. I want the loop to run while the game is running. So game running is going to be a variable that I set to true. And as soon as I'm done with the game, I'll set that to false. And then I want to say while the game is running, colon, do all the stuff under it. Python has a peculiar feature where you define a block of code by indenting it. If you notice, as soon as I type the colon, a little arrow appears beside the number 3. And it goes away when I delete it. That means that repl.it thinks I have a block of code under here. So you define a block by indenting it. And now when I click the arrow, it'll collapse that and expand it to show you what it thinks is in that block. So let's run that now. That should repeat. So 1, 2. All right, good. I want to be able to finish the game. So what kind of game am I making? We're going to have a simple room that we're in. It's going to be have a door that's locked, and we need to take a key and unlock the door, and then we can leave. So the final thing we want to do is leave, and then we win. So let's check what our command is and then decide what to do. So instead of this print statement, I'm going to say if command is equal to, and when you're comparing things, you use 2 equal signs. When you're setting things, you use 1. So I've set game running to true. I've set command to be whatever input returns. And I'm going to say if the command is equal to with 2 equal signs. And I'm going to look for the literal string leave. And if that is true, I'm going to say my game is no longer running. Game running is false. And then I'm going to print you win. So the same as before, if I, what is going on? There it goes. Same as before, if I type commands that it doesn't recognize, it doesn't do anything, but it loops. And as soon as I type leave, it says I win and the game is over. So I don't want to leave unless the door is unlocked. So let's, oops, that's not what I meant. So let's start out with the door being locked. Door locked is going to be true. And if you'll notice, a lot of times when I've been typing, the repl.it website has been trying to help me. As soon as I typed capital T, true is the first thing that popped up. And this gives you a list of things it thinks you might be talking about, and you can go up and down with your arrow keys, and then hit enter when you see the one you want, and it'll fill in the blanks. Another thing it does is if you type parentheses, it'll type in the matching parenthesis on the other side. If I type quotes, it'll type in the matching quotes on the other side. So it's trying to make you think less about the syntax of the language and punctuation, and more about actual programming concepts that so it's trying to free up your brain to think about more important stuff. Okay, so we have a locked door. We don't want the door to open unless, we don't want to leave unless the door is unlocked. So let's say and not door locked. So if our command is leave and the door is not locked, then I can win, but otherwise I can't. So if I run this, say leave, and nothing happens. So we need a way to actually unlock the door. So let's check for that command and have it change what door locked is set to. So if my command is going to be equal to the exact string unlock door, and then when we complete our game, it's not going to be looking for specific strings like this. That's going to be looking for commands, unlock, and then an object to act on, and then we'll have to search and see if the object we're trying to act on is in the room or if it's in our inventory. But we'll get to that later. Right now, we're just going to look for this exact string unlock door. So if that's my command, then door locked is going to be false. And I'm going to print you unlock the door. All right, now let's run that and see what happens. Leave. Nope. Oh, you know what I should do? Actually, let's do this. Unlock door, and then leave. If the door is locked, I need to say something to the user so they know that something's wrong. So if my command is leave and the door is locked, then I need to print you can't leave. The door is locked. There we go. Another thing I don't like is all of this text is squished together. So before I ask for user input, why don't we just print a blank line? Okay, that looks better. Okay, now, I don't want to be able to unlock the door unless I have the key. So let's create a variable that decides whether the user has the key or not. Let's call it has key, set it to false because I don't have it at first. And then I can't unlock the door unless I have the key. So if I unlock the door, if I type unlock door and I have the key, otherwise, if I try to unlock the door and I don't have a key and not has key, print, you need the key. Leave, unlock door. All right, good. So now I need a command that lets me actually get the key. I'll say take. If I take the key, then has key is true. Print, you have the key. Okay, that should be a completed program. No, I haven't printed the introduction yet. All right, well, let's just test and see if this stuff works. If I leave, I can't, the door's locked. If I unlock the door, I can't, I don't have the key. Take the key, unlock the door, and leave, and there we go. At the very beginning, I want to print an introduction that describes the room I'm in. I don't want to do this inside the loop. I want to do it before it gets there, so that it only happens once. So I'm going to print, and then this is another thing peculiar to Python. If you use 3 quotes to start and 3 quotes to end, you're defining a string that has more than one line. Otherwise, if I didn't have that, then everything has to be on one line. So let's do this. Let's do it just with one. And then repl.it knows there's going to be a problem here. So if I try to run the program, it's just going to throw an error message. If I do the same thing with 3 quotes to open and 3 quotes to close and run that, it'll actually print that string. So now let's have it say something more meaningful. You are in a room. The door is locked. There is a key on the table. There we go. Okay, so that should only happen once. Then if I try to leave, I can't. If I try to unlock the door, I also can't. So let's take the key and unlock the door and leave, and then I win. That is, those are all the concepts you need to make a text adventure game work. You need something that represents state. You need a way to process what the user types, and what they type should change the state. So here our state is just these 3 Boolean values, just true or false, and then we're just flipping them from true to false based on what we do, and that's it. So when we create the bigger game, it's going to have a more complicated structure, and we don't want to have like a million variables like this. We want to have one game object, and we want to have an inventory of all the items we've picked up, and then we want to know something about the room that we're in. So on day 3, we will start looking at objects and defining functions so we can make this more sophisticated. But this is all you need for now. I look forward to seeing you in class. Take care. Bye.